The second the photo hit the table, she knew her double life was over. No excuses, no manipulation, just the cold truth that I was done being played.
Hey there, I'm Letitia. I tell myself it's not a crisis. It's a nudge. A small, persistent itch under skin that otherwise sleeps fine every night beside Alex. He's steady. He's practical. He lines up the plates in the cabinet so the handles face out. He waters the plants on Thursdays without being asked. He's kind in these quiet, unflashy ways. He is, objectively, everything you'd want if you wanted a life that doesn't burn down. But it's safe in a way that makes my bones feel static. Predictable is comfortable until it isn't. When did comfort start to feel like a sentence? The coffee shop is small, crowded in the slow, midday way that makes people less guarded and more visible. Steam fogs the window. Someone's phone at the next table plays a song I don't know, and it bumps against the hum of conversation. I'm there because I tell myself I need a change of scenery. I bring a sketchbook more often than I draw. I'm waiting for nothing, really, just the feeling of being somewhere that isn't the apartment, where the day's shape can tilt. That's when I see him. Mike looks different. Not the edge-of-the-world soldier I remember. The jaw is still there, but softer. The haircut is practical, not aggressive. There's a neatness to him now. A rolled sleeve, a watch that isn't loud, hands that fold into themselves when he listens. He's sitting with a book, head bent, and for a second the room rearranges itself around him. He's articulate in how he holds his face, calm, precise, and when our eyes catch, there's recognition that feels older than both of us. No one moves. No one speaks. He doesn't come over. Neither do I. We both look away first. Why didn't he stand up? Why didn't I? Is it cowardice or timing? I ask myself those questions like coins I can toss and answer. I want the answer to be practical. It never is. I replay that glance all day. It's ridiculous. I tell myself I'm being dramatic. He was just a person reading a book. He was an echo from a life I left. But there's this rush, like cold hitting skin after being warm for too long. It wakes something. A small panic of possibility, like a draft under a sealed door. By evening the memory has teeth. I'm at the sink, rinsing a plate, listening to Alex in the living room plying through some show with his soft commentary. Pause it, rewind, and suddenly the kitchen feels too narrow. His voice is homey and ordinary, and I love him, and I hate that loving him feels like clamping down on the part of me that wants fire. What am I supposed to do with a heart that wants both the steady and the startling? Is that greedy? Is it honest? I tell myself I'll text Mike. I press send. Immediate regret and electric thrill follow like twin birds. My thumb hovers. My heart pounds in a place that feels foreign and loud. Should I tell him? No. What would be the point? He would worry. He would make it small in his head. Anxiety to be soothed. And I don't want soothing. I don't want explanations. I want to feel seen. I tell myself I'm only catching up. Am I? Is there a version of me that still believes in monogamy as a tidy box? Or am I just tired of boxes? These questions sound cleaner in the head than they look in the gray light of our hallway. The text says, "Hey Mike, saw you today at Grounds. Didn't want to be weird, but would you meet for a coffee? Just to catch up. 2 dots. Then nothing. The waiting is absurd. Then my phone buzzes. Mike's reply lights the screen. Sure. Tomorrow. My stomach drops and lifts at the same time. Is this the start of something or a single door cracked for air? Do I want it to be a new life or just proof that I can still spark? Who have I become that I have to test myself like this? Who am I if not steady? I don't have the answer. I only have the coffee shop, the look, the message, and the fact that I'm pretending to be practical while my insides are anything but.
Hey, this is Alex. Life with Letitia feels like order. That's the word I'd use. Rent's on time. Groceries don't run out. No screaming matches. No walking out the door in the middle of a fight. We've got routine, and routine is what keeps things running. I love her. I don't need to say it 100 times. I show it. I drive us where we need to go. I handle the bills. I fix the things that break. She knows. Words fade. Actions stay. That's how I see it. She's been different, though. Phone in her hand more, screen flipped down when I walk past. I notice, but I don't comment. I've never been the jealous type. I've always thought trust means not hovering. People who dig through phones, demand answers, that's weakness. One night, she smiles at the screen. Small, private. I ask what's funny. She says nothing. That's it. I drop it, but in my head, I file it away. Nothing doesn't make you smile like that. A few days later, my brother comes over for a beer. We're standing in the kitchen, casual, talking sports. Then he says it like he's pointing out traffic. Saw Letitia downtown yesterday. Weird spot for her, right? I ask where. He says near the old station, over by the strip with the motel and pawn shop. Then he shrugs, says it's probably nothing. I don't argue. I just nod. But inside, I'm already running it back. She hates that part of town. Calls it sketchy every time we drive through. So why would she be there? I tell myself not to make it a big deal. Maybe she had a reason. Maybe she was meeting a friend. You don't blow up a relationship over coincidence. That's not strength. That's desperation. Another week passes. My phone rings at night. My brother again. His voice is heavier this time. Careful. He says he saw her again, same area. But not alone. My hand clenches around the phone. I ask who. He says a guy. Looked like Mike. The ex. He's almost sure. And then he says the part that hits hardest. They walked out of the motel together. I don't speak right away. My jaw locks. My chest goes steady, not racing. It's that calm that comes before you act. I tell him, all right. He sounds confused. Asks if that's it. I say, yeah, I got it. Then I hang up. I sit in the dark, TV still on in front of me. I don't feel shock. I don't feel panic. What I feel is focus. Like a switch flipped. The easy thing would be to storm into the bedroom, throw the accusation at her, demand answers. But easy doesn't get you the truth. Easy gets you denial, tears, some speech about trust, and then somehow you're the bad guy for even asking. The next morning, I pour her coffee like usual. She takes it, thanks me, looks me straight in the eye. Smiles. Acts normal. Like nothing's wrong. I used to believe giving space was strength. That trust meant not checking, not prying. Maybe it was just leaving the door wide open. Maybe I mistook silence for loyalty. But I know myself. Once trust breaks, that's it. No rebuilding. No negotiating. She thinks I'm dependable, steady, safe. She doesn't realize how cold I can get once I decide I'm done.
It starts with coffee. That's what I tell myself. Just coffee. Nothing dangerous about two adults sitting across from each other in daylight, talking about the years that got lost between us. Mike shows up in a plain jacket, sleeves rolled, voice lower than I remember. Not the reckless soldier who slammed doors in cursed traffic. Calmer. He listens. He asks real questions. Like, what have you been painting? How do you feel about where you're at? Things Alex never asks. Alex loves me. I know that. But love from him is practical. Reliable. It fills the fridge, not the air. Mike looks at me like I'm something worth studying. That kind of gaze burns. I tell myself I'm exaggerating, but when he leans in, elbows on the table, I feel heat crawl up my neck. I leave that cafe with my heart pounding. Wasn't supposed to feel like that. I don't tell Alex. How could I? He'd make it logical. Oh, your ex came back. You had coffee. Fine. He'd shrug, fold it into the schedule. And that's the problem. He'd never understand the electricity in my veins, the way it feels to be noticed again. Really noticed. One meeting turns into 2. Then 3. Each time I dress a little differently. A bit more skin. A bit more color. He notices. Says I look incredible. Says he can't believe he let me go. Words like that stick. The first time we end up at the motel, I'm laughing too loud, my hand brushing his as we walk. The neon buzzes outside like a bad omen, but I don't care. Inside, the bedspread smells like detergent and cigarettes. My pulse is a drum. He touches me like I've been starving, and maybe I have. Afterward, lying there, I tell myself it's not betrayal. It's discovery. It's me finding the part of myself that's been locked away in routine. Isn't it possible to love Alex and still crave this? Isn't it possible to want stability and passion? Why does everyone pretend you can only have one? I start building a story in my head. Relationships, don't have to be monogamous. People are experimenting, changing, evolving. Maybe Alex could understand if I framed it right. Maybe I could show him this isn't about less love for him. It's about more love for me. Isn't that fair? Don't I deserve to feel alive? At home, I play the role. Dinner, dishes, shows on the couch. But I feel impatient. His quiet feels heavier now, like a weight pressing on my chest. He asks about my day, I give clipped answers. Inside, I'm screaming, ask me more. Push. Notice me. But he doesn't. He thinks silence is comfort. When Mike texts, I light up. I catch myself smiling, biting my lip at the screen. Alex asks once, "What's funny?" and I say nothing. He buys it. Or maybe he wants to buy it. Either way, he doesn't press. That makes me bolder. I compare them constantly. Mike's intensity against Alex's calm. Mike's fire against Alex's quiet. Mike leans forward when I talk. Alex leans back. With Mike, I feel sparks. With Alex, I feel safe. Too safe. Safety has turned into boredom, hasn't it? But then, guilt sneaks in like a draft. I picture Alex making coffee, the small things he does without fanfare. Folding laundry, paying bills, steadying me when I spin out. He doesn't deserve betrayal. But does anyone deserve anything? Isn't life about chasing what makes you feel awake? One night I imagined telling him outright, sitting at the table, saying, "I'm seeing Mike. I still love you, but I need this too. Can we try something different?" I picture him staring back at me, face unreadable. Would he say yes? Would he surprise me? Or would he just shut down, steady and final, the way he always is when something doesn't fit his plan? The thought makes my stomach twist. But the other thought, the one where I keep both, makes me giddy. The fantasy of it. Two lives running parallel, me at the center, finally whole. I know it's fragile. I know I'm stacking lies like cards. But right now, when Mike calls me the one that got away, when his hands map my body like he's memorizing it, I feel undeniable. So I push the guilt down. Smile at Alex when he hands me a mug of coffee. Pretend I don't smell Mike's cologne on my own skin. Pretend I'm not living two lives. Because if I stop pretending, I have to choose. And I'm not ready to choose. Not when the thrill still feels this good.
Dinner passes ordinary. She talks about the gallery opening, about a client with an annoying laugh. She laughs at herself in the middle of the story like nothing is wrong. I keep my face even, let her talk. The photo sits in my pocket like a stone. My brother's message, clear, undeniable. Two figures stepping out of the motel door, shoulders brushing, the way people move when they're used to each other. When the plates are empty and the sink is rinsed, I sit back down opposite her and place the phone between us. The screen blooms and the picture fills the table. She sees it and goes still, the color draining from her face. There's a moment where everything compresses, her breath caught, the hum of the refrigerator, the scrape of a chair settling under me. She looks small, like a person caught in a light. She doesn't start with confession. She begins with the reflex of defense, quick words forming, hands fluttering at her sides, as if she can stitch together some explanation that will make the image mean something else. At first it's denial, the rehearsed kind, a rushed claim that she was there for reasons that aren't what they look like, a story about a friend, a wrong street, a coincidence. She reaches for anything that will turn the hard truth into pliable rumor. When denial collapses under the weight of what she knows I've seen, her tone changes. She scrambles into pleading, voice thin and frantic inside the space of the kitchen without actually speaking. She paints pictures of us, of how much she loves me, how stable I am, how much I've given. She tries to make it sound like the affair was a mistake, a misstep that can be undone with promises, with apologies, with the kind of words that often steer people back together. She talks about regret, about being stupid, about how much I mean to her, even as her hands tremble and she avoids looking at the photo like it might bite. When pleading doesn't unstick me, she moves to the new argument she's been rehearsing the whole time, the one where infidelity is dressed up as modernity. She floats the idea that love isn't a single lane anymore, that people are trying different arrangements, that maybe we can reframe what we have so she can keep both. Polyamory becomes a proposition rather than a confession, an offer that, in her head, is a solution rather than the problem. She imagines a life where I'd accept the messy some of her wants, where safety and thrill could coexist under the same roof. The breathless pitch is meant to shock me into reconsidering or to shame me into appearing rigid. It's a bid for permission more than a plea for forgiveness. I watch all of that unfold without speaking. I don't argue, because the argument has already been decided. The photo doesn't need my translation. Her words, denial, pleading, experiments, and ethics are attempts to rearrange the wreckage. She reaches for narrative angles like lifelines, but what she's asking for is the right to rebrand betrayal as exploration. That is a line I will not cross. So I stand up. I tell her she needs to leave. I do not negotiate the terms. The sentence is short, firm, a clean cut. She doesn't fight. She crumples. And there's that raw, animal sound of someone defeated by her own choices. She moves through the apartment like the place has become a foreign country, touching a frame, hesitating at the doorway, folding a sweater. The suitcase comes out slow. Each zip is a small, final punctuation. As she gathers herself and walks down the hall, I sit back at the table and stare at the phone. The photo is a pale rectangle lighting the wood grain, proof that once you break a foundation, you can't pretend the house is intact. I feel the knot in my chest, the dull ache of losing someone I love, but beneath that is a clear, cold thing, relief. The weeks of suspicion, the hollow nights of not knowing, the small, everyday lies, those are over. There is an ugly clarity to the end. She pauses at the door, eyes red, voice trembling as she says something like a threat, like a prayer. I don't rise. I watch her leave. The door closes and the sound reverberates through the apartment like something definitive being hammered in place. The silence that follows is different than the silence before.
My things are in bags at Mike's for now, though for now feels generous. He never offered permanence. He never said move in, share the rent, build a life. He offered a bed, his attention, a kind of intensity that had me drunk for weeks. Now, in daylight, it looks smaller. The first week after Alex kicked me out, Mike was all fire. Dinners at places we never tried before, his hand always reaching for mine, his eyes sharp and certain. He called me beautiful 10 times a night. I told myself this was proof I hadn't made a mistake. Proof that I had chosen passion, chosen to be alive. But patterns reveal themselves. He doesn't text during the day. He disappears for hours without explanation. Comes back with stories about old friends or business he's handling. He's still that restless soldier underneath, even if the edges are smoothed. And when I ask, tentatively, about the future, about living together, about what we might be, he smiles that crooked smile and says he's not looking to tie himself down. He just got back from years overseas. He wants freedom. Freedom. That's the word that sounds romantic until you realize it doesn't include you. The realization creeps in slow. I wanted both worlds, Alex's steady devotion and Mike's fire. I told myself it was possible, that love could be flexible, that I could rewrite the rules. But Mike doesn't want both. He doesn't even want half. He wants what's convenient. And Alex made it clear he won't share, won't bend, won't take me back. I walk through the city now and feel invisible. Friends stop checking in. A few sent messages at first, but when they realized I wasn't coming back to Alex, they went quiet. I know why. People admire decisiveness, and Alex was decisive. He set his boundary, and they respect him for it. They don't respect me. They see me as the one who blew up something solid for a fantasy. And they're not wrong. Nights stretch long. Mike doesn't always invite me over. Sometimes I lie in a friend's guest room, scrolling through old photos of Alex and me. Trips we took, dinners we cooked, the way he'd hold my hand absent-mindedly while watching TV. At the time, I thought it was boring. I thought I was suffocating. Now I see it for what it was, love in its quiet form. The kind that endures. I replay the night he showed me the photo. His silence, the way he didn't need to shout. That calm cut deeper than anger. Anger you can argue with. Anger you can soothe. But that stillness, there was no moving it. He was finished, and I saw in his face that there would never be a way back. I tell myself, maybe I'll get over it. Maybe Mike will grow into something steadier. Maybe I'll learn to live with the trade I made. But deep down I know the truth. I gambled stability for excitement, and the excitement doesn't last. It flickers and fades. And when it fades, you're left standing alone. Sometimes I walk past the coffee shop where it started. The same window where I saw Mike sitting with his book, where everything inside me shifted. Back then it felt like fate, like a door opening. Now it feels like a trapdoor I fell through. I catch myself slowing down outside, glancing through the glass. But I don't go in. I keep walking. I wonder if Alex passes here too, if he ever thinks of me, if he feels anything at all anymore. Probably not. He's the kind of man who once he closes a door, it stays closed. I hated that about him once. Now I envy it. The truth is simple. I wanted too much. I wanted to be seen and adored without losing the comfort of being cared for. I wanted fire without giving up shelter. And life doesn't work that way. You choose, and you live with it. So here I am, choosing every day to live with the absence of both. No Alex. No future with Mike. Just me, walking streets that feel colder than they used to, passing places that hold memories I can't step into again. And maybe that's my punishment. Not his silence, not my friends pulling away, not Mike's detachment. My punishment is knowing I had someone who valued me completely, and I traded it for a spark that burned out fast. The coffee shop window glints in the afternoon light. I don't look inside. I keep walking, because the only thing left to do is move forward, even if I don't know where forward leads.